I'm your host of Most Welcome 23. You're joining me for Temtem Should You Buy? This video will contain gameplay, pros, cons, breakdowns, as well as a list of other things. And just to let you know, I have over 20 hours of in-game playing, streaming, etc. And the campaign is about 20 hours too, so keep that in mind. The price right now is I believe $35.99 USD. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before I show you a little bit of gameplay, some of the pros and cons I'd like to go into real quick is the game looks kind of Breath of the Wild, and it meets Pokemon, so it's dialed down, but the aesthetics and the environment are pretty. It's nice. It's a welcome change. The characters in the game, you know, you've seen kind of similar art styles from other games like it, but it's kind of nice. With that being said, however, there are a lot of things in Temtem which should be client-side that are communicating to the server. It's one of the reasons why they're having server issues. They've had server issues, and they will continue to have server issues. Probably, I would say, for weeks, if not months in advance. Just saying. So for server issues, I'm going to hold World of Warcraft Vanilla as the bar, especially because they're calling this an MMO that's supposed to be contending with Pokemon. But just to let you know, this game is kind of like Pokemon story-wise. You live in a house, you're with your mother, you go and I'm going to become a tamer, and you've got a professor, you have a rival. It literally and figuratively is Pokemon, just with a different art style and new mons. But it meets Yu-Gi-Oh! And, Google this, Dinosaur King, where you go around and you capture these mons, but you don't capture them with Pokeballs or anything like that. You catch it with Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. So like I said, Dinosaur King meets Digimon, or in this case, Yu-Gi-Oh! With that being said, at least it's got that new precipice and things like that. However, everything still operates just like Pokemon. You go to a Pokemon store, you talk to a guy, he sells you the cards, he sells you everything that the other vendors and all the other games sell. Instead of talking to Nurse Joy and having your Pokemon healed, you pretty much talk to a card booth, where you just insert your cards, there's no communication, you wait for the sound, and you run along. You capture the mons the same way, and it's the same gameplay style, really. And I don't see an MMO style whatsoever. Why do I say this? The only thing that is significantly better than Pokemon Sword and Shield is character customization. Massive changes on that, massive props on that. However, figuring that once you get into Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can customize your outfits, to your socks, to your shoes, to your hats, to your shirts, to your everything. The only thing you aren't able to really customize is all the hairstyles, your face, and things like that. But once you create your character, that is locked in, and you cannot customize things besides outfits. So, if anything, Temtem starts to drop below that bar. For server stability, I'm holding it against World of Warcraft Vanilla, and it is way down low. This is a game which, by the way, has been in development for quite a long time. We had Kickstarters, funding, and everything, and raised almost $1 million for it. Let alone today is the release, or early release, of the game after people such as myself beta tested your alpha and your beta of your alpha, and then your stress test of your alpha, which that's the way I'm putting it. But if you read their sites, you read Humble Bundle and everything else, they're not claiming it as an early release for a lot of the things. A lot of the positive articles that you're reading, not a lot of people are stating it's early release. So a lot of people are going into this thinking this is a finished, polished product, and this isn't even remotely close. Why I say that is early release versus early release. I'm going to go ahead and just say Escape from Tarkov versus Temtem. The bar is down here for Temtem as well. With Escape from Tarkov, from the moment I started playing it, from Temtem, the moment I started playing it. Literally, there was, I would say, 10 times more updates for Escape from Tarkov. A ton of more hotfixes, server stabilities, and things like that, that Temtem just has completely and irrevocably ignored. I have created numerous posts going over issues with NPCs, text, sounds, bugs, and also the fact that you can literally go into Temtem and lose 12 plus hours of progress. No, this isn't like Borderlands. This is worse. This is the fact that they literally communicated to me and said, by the way, we know that you've put in time quite a bit. We can't fix the issue. We don't know how to fix the issue, so you're literally going to have to recreate your character. I did that live on stream. We'll go to that here in a second for how many people are having that issue. The sound bugs, that's another thing, is the the ha's. They're talking about features that people are desperately wanting to be put in now because it's annoying, that they're like, well, we'll release that in the future. We're talking about, this is out on PC only right now, and the optimization, the video, you know, changing to low or whatnot, there are literally two settings right now. It's low and ultra, and even in some things, it is ultra. You can't change it. You can't lower it. You can't do anything with it. I'm just sitting there going, okay. And this, by the way, this is coming out to console in a little under a year. And it's going to have its official release in under a year. And I'm just sitting there going, no, you have a lot of AAA companies right now that are doing delays on games to make sure they are polished, to make sure they are finished, to making sure that also your staff and crew and everybody are not crunched, they're not, you know, punished, and they're actually able to go home and sleep. And if anything, according to what I read on their Twitter, they're going to be crunching with such small staff that they have, and the server issues and all the... But people brush it off because it's early access. Let's just go ahead and get into some gameplay to show you some of the issues that I have dealt with. Cool, can we go with you? You... I almost feel like we're playing Sims with these sounds. I swear to God, if we have to redo the whole intro. That'll be my next note. Mother! And by the way, I did have to restart all of it. Your selection and everything else. I mean, these are the server issues that they're currently having. Pretty bad. But you know what? I want to have you go with me in the next gameplay clip, and I want you to painstakingly enjoy every second of what is currently going on in this game. Okay. You're the fucking teacher's pet. Look how cool your fucking Temtem is. Like, let's be real right now. This is gonna be ugly. Because you have to wait for the server to respond. So, never gonna happen. Welcome to Stress Test, where just simply selecting a skill will kill the game. We're launching in 10 days. Like, if you're the creator of this game, it's just to be on par with Pokemon. You would think there's going to be a lot of people trying to get on Temtem. We should have the server set to at least 10, 20,000, because there's already a queue for 10,000. Like, choose your target. Yeah, no shit. We're just waiting for the server, guys. Playing the violin, boys. Let's go. Some really suspenseful music. I like the music. I like the look of the game. I like the music. But oh man, that's gonna be hurting. If every single command you do, even in an AI match, is sent to the server, and then you have to wait for the server to respond back. Quickly, attack her knees. What? Oof. I mean, we can go back, but the problem is... Which, yeah, that's another thing. Is you're lucky if you'll have a reconnect message pop up within 5 to 10 minutes. So you're literally sitting there hoping the game will respond. And the only thing you can do is Alt F4, literally and figuratively, and try and get back in the game, which then you're forced to sit in a queue of tens of thousands of people right now. And that's just to get it back into a game, which you hope and pray that you'll get through the queue and actually be able to reconnect, providing there's no server issues, and where seemingly unless your mons have been battling server side this entire time. And you log back in, and you've either won or lost the battle. And you just sit there like, okay, so is this like clicker heroes or idle battle or what's going on? Literally and figuratively, that was what happened to me. I didn't want to make you sit through literally 10 minutes of me waiting, then all F4ing, then coming back in, learning only that, hey, my Temtems had been fighting this whole time while I was waiting or offline or something. But wait, there's more. If you go into a house, say for instance the studio or whatnot, or really any house, it has to load into the server, get commands, then everything has to load that's in the house, and also the fact that any and all people that are inside or outside of a house have to load too. What's that? You want me to share that joy with you? Okay. So before you couldn't see any people, now you see an ass ton of people, so... And now if only I could move. Do you want to fight again? Do you want to... I'd like to fight you again. Just whoop the fucking shit out of your ass. Oh my god, I can't move. Neither is no one else on the screen except for the AI. Wait, someone moved! I'm trying! Come on! You can move! I'm guessing the server is waiting for the AI to fucking server response bullshit to scripted AI shit so we can move the fuck on. Which, yes, just to let you know, the only way to fix that is to literally Alt F4 too and come back in the game. Then you can move around while everyone else is frozen. But once you engage on something, literally a mon talking to an AI or anything else, you literally have to wait for the server to then communicate to you. Which, if tens of thousands of people are all having the same issue and they can't connect to the server, how do you think you're going to fare? That's what I thought. Oh boy, but wait, there's more. So this game is supposed to feel like an MMO, right? So of course you're going to see a bunch of people, which I believe should use the Pokemon Sword and Shield method, where you can turn on or off. If I want to go through a building and I want to inspect everything from little Temtem stuffed animals, like we have in Pokemon, to, say, devices or anything, or even NPCs, which are completely and utterly covered up by people, which I'll show you here in a minute, you are lucky to find an NPC in literally a school. No joke. You are lucky to find an NPC because there are so many people on your screen. Not just that, but you have a ton of names on your screen too, which, by the way, the name sensors for this game are non-literally existent. There were a lot of names which were very offensive, including the N-word, including the F-words, including a lot of other names that literally and figuratively were not censored whatsoever, especially up to 2 days before the early release of this game. or early access, which literally and figuratively were not censored. And you would think in a game that's supposed to appeal to children that you would not see words like that as names, but lo and behold, Temtem yet again fails to do what a lot of other games are doing, which is keyword blocking out certain things, abbreviations, things like that. And while I'm not for censoring to a fully amount, say for instance Escape from Tarkov is a more adult-oriented game where there are a lot of very questionable or bad names, this is a game that is geared entirely to children, and this is a game where you can run around with any offensive name that you can think possibly of and enjoy it and share it with the world, and there's no way to report it. Oh Lord. This is cancer! This right here is cancer. Jesus Christ. I'm just waiting for someone to be called butt plug or some shit, you know, right in front of me. Let's see, what kind of names we got? Out on the internet. Oh, what? Yummy. Welcome to the Academy. Everyone open your books to page this game. Welcome to the Academy. Shouldn't you be heading to your next class? Listen, dog, I don't have any, like, class schedule yet. So... And also... If you saw right there, as we passed that big group of people, we thought that was like a big group of people. Maybe it might lead to us getting a locker or something. No, in that big group of people, there was literally an NPC that we needed to talk to that had no indicator. There was no golden exclamation point above our head, or their head, may I say. There was no any indication whatsoever that there was an NPC there that we needed to talk to. And a lot of NPCs are like this. And it's something that World of Warcraft easily fixed, as well as a lot of MMOs. Giving some indicator above their head, giving an invisible barrier around the item or whatnot. And this is a game where, hey man, I hope you don't need to pick something up, because if there's a million people around it, good luck. Because then, hey, you know what? You're engaging with people if you go up to people. It's just a nightmare. It's literally, as I said in the video, it's cancer. And it should be something that's flick-onable and offable. Especially as a game that totes that you can go around and play solo. You cannot play offline. You can't. No matter how hard you try, you can't play offline. Because every single thing you do, communicating with just the simplest of AI, all the way up to picking up an item, all the way up to battling AI scripted things, all communicated with the server. I can't stress this enough. But wait, there's more! Pupil, what's your name? Guybrush. You know what I'm doing. Inigo Montoya. Oh, that's somewhat unexpected. In any case, please do take a seat. We're about to start today's class. Please open your Mastering Temtem Statistics to page 6. Alright. Can I set it this step? Can't set it this one. Can I set it this one? No, can't set it this one. The only one I can seemingly sit at is this one. Okay! Page 6! Motherfucking way back! Can we go sit any further back? Oh god! Ooh! Can you hear me from back here, Professor? Who is a classroom laid out like this? This place. This school is shit. No joke. Like, all the Temtem, your 10 plus hours of progress, completely wiped out. They say to restart the game. I restarted it 3 times live on stream. Nada. They said, well, go all the way back to, you know, your town and speak to your mother again, and it'll try and restart your progress, which is, if anything, trying to, you know, reset things. Didn't work. Again, I was told by the devs, well, we don't know how to do it, so we have to literally reset everything. So you have to start all over again. That's something that's unacceptable when you put even 2 hours into a game, let alone 10 plus hours into a game. Being told, hey, all your time, which we will never get back, your time, your money, everything else, we can't do anything about it. We don't know how to fix it. Literally and figuratively being told that by a dev for this game. And you lose out on all of it. Literally live on a stream. It's just mind-blowing. It's exhausting. It's demoralizing. It's a lot of things. But I also want to show just a couple more things here. And then you guys, I'll leave any and all questions to you in the comment section below. But let's go over here to right now. This was just refreshed. And they are having a ton of issues. They knew months in advance that today was going to be the release date. If you literally go over to Humble Bundle, unless they've changed it, which last I checked, as of just a little bit ago, before doing this video here and starting it up, they have not officially stated that this is early release or early access on a lot of their sites. But, as you can see here, we're mostly stable. No, you're not. You know, this statement 2 minutes later contradicts it. Then also, I want to show you something real quick. Is they're doing server configs and everything's looking good right now, and it stays like this. We'll be opening more slots for the queue, which right now the queue is almost 20,000 in queue, and then people are getting disconnected, and then the people in queue are taking their place, and then it's just constantly recycling and recycling. As you can see here, there is the previous hotfix caused a new problem. Then we've got a hotfix for the hotfix for the hotfix. That, I mean, you're having a compounding issue that these are all the issues just within a couple hours. Like, again, you can go to the Temtem Twitter. You can see all these issues. But long story short, it's a pretty big issue, don't you think? I also want to talk about one other issue. So I, as a content creator, I typically only want to share games that I genuinely enjoy. And I did enjoy Temtem when it did want to work. And I did enjoy the aesthetics of it. There were some cons. Again, the music, the things like that. The combat was, you know, equal to or on par with Pokemon Sword and Shield. It wasn't flashy as it could have been. It wasn't as whatnot. But it was kind of cool in its own unique way. Again, the aesthetic, as you saw, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild dialed down to a Pokemon level where it's, you know, you can't spin your camera or anything. You can't go out in this open world. Everything's kind of linear, but it's supposed to be a contender with Pokemon, right? It's not bad. It's not bad, especially for the $35.99 you're going to be paying for it. But long story short, do you want to buy it with all the server issues, with all the broken bugs, with all the chances of your progress being completely wiped out and being told, oh, well, and we're not going to credit you, we're not going to do anything, we're not going to help you get back there, we're not going to say, okay, what did you have, especially as a streamer where I can provide proof what level my Temtems were, what items I had, and the whole 9 yards. We're not even going to help you and restore your things. And at least Borderlands 3, for some streamers, they at least help people get back on their feet for having their progress completely wiped out. This game was like, yo, hey, too bad, so sad, have a nice day. What was worse is, as a content creator who's passionate, when I play certain games, I'm passionate, especially for early access, beta testing, whatnot. I will leave, typically on Steam forums or wherever I am, or wherever I have access to, I will leave, you know, these are bugs, these are things that need to be fixed, these are critical, you know, criticisms, these are things, typically if I have a complaint, I have a fix. And as you've seen in this video, yo, there should be a lot of things performed on client side versus server side. It would take a lot less off the servers, it would put more on the client, and it would be simple. It's a simple code that I wrote back when I was a teenager. And especially as a game developer who went into this industry, who's been in this industry for nearly, you know, 2 decades, these are very simple things at the end of the day, which allow you to take a lot off the server. The server should not need to have communication for, yo, you fought Amelia, NPC number 12, while leaving, you know, the town. It shouldn't be that way. I could see where maybe you would want, you know, online servers for maybe fighting certain Temtems in the wild or things like that. Certain randomized ones. But again, for the most part, unless you're going to be battling a friend or random person or trading, most of this game should be offline. And I don't understand that. If you want to enable, you know, certain areas or the game, period, to allow you to see everyone else and show off your costumes or your really rad surfboard or something like that, cool. Allow the option for that to be turned on and off. And as you saw also, the FPS in the game, there was sometimes it would run great and it would get up to 4 or 60 FPS, and then sometimes it would tank and drop below 30 FPS. And I'm sitting here playing EFT on Ultra, Doom on Ultra, all these other games that are high intensity on Ultra, and this game, some things had to be run on low, some things had to be run on Ultra because you had no choice to be tanking on Ultra. You didn't have an option to customize things or to go anywhere with it because you were literally, it was either low or Ultra. We tried both, and FPS and optimization still tanked. It was just bad. And again, my streams are up. Proof of concept, proof of the pudding, proof of everything is up on there. If you actually want to endure the painful final streams of this game that I went through, feel free to. I'll drop some links down below, but there's one other thing I want to share with you before we go that I was leading up to, is as a content creator, I will be critical of games that I want to succeed. I am very passionate. This game, however, and the developers have been a little shady to me as a content creator, and many others that I've spoken to that were critical of this game as well. And then there's other big content creators that are like, that I will not touch this game because of how I've seen it and the whole 9 yards. And it's not even on their radar as big content creators. However, they have covered Pokemon Sword and Shield and other even mobile games or like-minded games like Pokemon. And this is supposed to be a big contender for Pokemon, especially one that's accessible on PC. And for those who have been critical about them, well, let me give you a small background. So when Temtem initially came out, there were key websites. As me as a content creator, if you have a certain amount of subscribers or followers or views or whatnot, you're allowed to apply for certain keys. Well, then the developers decided to go to a new site. And then you'd apply there, and it was be a new site. And literally they've gone through about 4 or 5 different websites that they've erased some of the previous applicable keys on those sites for where you can get a key as a content creator. And long story short, it's went from some of the sites that I've used. Some of the games that I've aired on this channel have came from those sites, and they are very dependable. They are nearly decade old for content creators such as me, and they are the standard, they are the gold standard for where content creators go. And then there are sites that they were using that they made personable, and here we want you to go here, and then it was Humble Bundle, and now it's a new one, and I'm just like, and then today, since I've gave this game such critical reviews on Steam, as well as, you know, a few other places, and it wasn't just, oh my god, this game is garbage, I've been very critical, and hoping this game would pay off, hoping this game would look good, hoping this game would fix itself, and the developers would put a little bit of more work into it, or at least say, hey, these are issues, these are bugs, these are things that I think should be addressed. Ever since I've left those criticisms, I've been getting this, and it's not just me. It's a lot of other content creators as well, is we're all getting this message. That pretty much the sites were being turned down because our information, such as our usernames and whatnot, are provided to the developers and whatnot of Temtem. And then they have gone ahead and denied us. For content creators who have done no negative reviews whatsoever towards the developers, they have gotten keys in the whole 9 yards. And it's funny because some of those very people have came out to me and said, yo, you were right. This game is garbage. I just lost 6 hours of progress. I lost 2 hours of progress. I lost literally all my Temtems and they don't know how to fix it. All this other crap. And literally I quit on stream and I'm not going to do this. And I'm going to wait 4 to 6 months. And there's a lot of communication that content creators do, is networking and whatnot. And, you know, going and talking to one another and saying, yo, this game is just... I felt like I wish I would have gave you my key, since, you know, I've tried to play this and it's not even willing to work for me, and I'm just willing not to put up with this, and I've got tons of other games to cover and the whole 9 yards. So basically, they're only getting positive press right now, aside from user reviews, because most of the places are hand-picked for who's getting to review the game or not. And it's just, you can insert whatever word you want, and it's a insert word move. I'm going to go with it's a dick move. You can't sensitize things that may give you criticism that is constructive criticism or negative criticism, because people want we don't want, genuinely, a lot of content creators, we do not want you to fail. I want to say this to you directly. I want to say this to any developer, any person watching right now. We do not want you to fail. I do not want Temtem to fail. I want this game to fix itself. I want this game to be awesome, and it's going to take at least 4 to 6 months, in my opinion, as well as a few other people's opinions. It's going to take some time. That's probably why the official release is until 2021. I would suggest to you, as the consumer, as a person who has tested this game for 20 plus hours, I would suggest to you to wait. There's plenty of games coming out. There's plenty of other content to watch. Wait. Bookmark it, wishlisted on Steam, wishlisted on Humble Bundle, wishlisted. Do not buy this game currently. It's in early access. Make them, speak with your wallet, I've always said that. Speak with your wallet, make them fix these issues. Make them do server stability. Make them fix a lot of these bugs. Make them put a lot of features that they've promised and they haven't put in yet. Make them do the work. It's unacceptable. I as a content creator, I as a person who's been in this game industry, I as a person who's worked for some of these companies, I'm just going to say this outright. There are so many games who have entered early access where developers have completely ceased work or done lackluster work, that they've taken the money, they've ran with it, they profited hardcore, and then they just walked away. Perfect example, if you want to go talk to someone about it, Jim Sterling, people who, you know, talked about it all the time, and you know, were kind of like the very truthful, very anti-game developers in the game developers' eyes was, you know, Cynical Brit, Total Biscuit, things like that. And then those are people who I, side by side, would have discussions with games with, and things, you know, about things that need to be improved in the game industry and everything. This game would have been better off to say, yo, we'll release in 2021, we're delaying, you know, until then, and we got a lot of things to do. Our stress test did not pan out whatsoever good. Our release today is a perfect example of that, and the whole 9 years. We have a lot of room for improvement. That's where this game should have been. This is where this development team should have been, but I feel like they're like, okay, well, we've had these Kickstarter things. We can't do more Kickstarters because people are going to start raising eyebrows and go, we can't do more, you know, funds and fan funds and all this other things. Basically, I feel like, hopefully I'm wrong in this statement, but I feel like this is a cash grab to go, okay, we've ran out of money. We desperately need you guys to buy the game on the Steam store or Humble Bundle, so we'll continue to put work in. Like, I'd rather have companies be transparent about that and say, yo, you know, but the problem is you also have to look at the consumer, and the consumer is a cut in half. You have the people who are like me, who are like, yo, this game has potential, but here's this that needs to be fixed. And then you have the other people who are like, yo, it's early release, dog. What did you expect? I expected not another dud on early release day, let alone something that tells me it's going to take a while to be fixed. Like, there's a lot of people who have commented on the Twitter, on the Steam, on the whole 9 yards that say that they went and got refunds, that they are not going to be playing this for a while, that they are apprehensive, that there are reviews being left that say, yo, I looked at your review. I'm looking at streamers, tons of streamers right now who are having tons of problems. I'm not spending my money. Speak with your wallet. I can't encourage that enough for anything. Products, electronics, games, anything. Speak with your wallet. Especially be apprehensive. Be cautious when buying things anymore, because a lot of duds are out there. And especially coming from the game industry and the whole 9 yards. There's a lot of early access game duds. There's a lot where people poured millions of dollars into the games and hoping the developers would do good, and it had a lot of potential, and then the developers were like, they went dead silent, no more updates in the whole 9 yards. I'm not saying Temtem's like that, but I'm saying that a lot of the things that they're incurring today were things that were talked about weeks, months, if not longer in advance, that they still have not fixed. To me, that's a pretty telltale sign. Without further ado, I think that's it for today's video on this. Like I said, I'm going to keep my ear to the ground, but, you know, something tells me that right now, again, they're wanting good press, and only good press because of that alone is disheartening, it's saddening, and I'm a person who, hell, I mean, I know some of the World of Warcraft developers who I could consider the frenemies or best friends, who thought I was a pain in their ass. I submitted thousands of bug tickets back in beta, all the way up until literally months into vanilla, every time I found an issue, because I wanted it to be polished, and I love World of Warcraft. And every time I run into an issue, I run into an exploit or bug or a glitch or anything, I always submit tickets for it. And, hell, I don't know how many countless streams I have of me opening a ticket and writing something. And it's just something you wish and hope and pray that, you know, whatever, that is taken care of, especially as a consumer standpoint, let alone a person that is in this industry and is a content creator. You want the games to work, you know what I'm saying? You want them to work. And I know people are going to be like, well, it's early access. I'm tired of that argument. I'm tired of it. Early access is an excuse to be sloppy for the years that it was in development. It's a excuse where we have a laundry list of games that have gone in early access that have been abandoned by developers in the whole 9 yards, where people have lost money out on. Millions and millions and millions of dollars have lost money out on a game, and early access is a risk, and I encourage anyone to wait. Hold your wallets. Go buy a pizza, you know, go buy something that you're gonna enjoy. Go buy the Sword and Shield DLC, and at least, you know, get your Slowpoke, you know, and things like that right now. Go do that. You know, go buy Pokemon Home, for heaven's sake, and start transferring your Pokemon from, you know, Let's Go and things like that to Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's all I'm saying. Like, right now, just hold off. Do not spend the $35.99. That's, to me, in my opinion, that's too much for this game in its current condition. This game in its current condition, as of today, with all the launch issues, the server issues, the bug issues, the hotfixes on hotfixes on hotfixes on hotfixes, and the plaguing issues as more bugs creep up and the more hotfix, and it's like, wow, did you guys even beta test this thing? Did you guys fix anything that we reported during beta, let alone stress tests? No, we didn't. Okay, well then what did you expect when, and then everyone gets upset and they don't realize that people have been around since then and they have these issues, and they're just giving they're holding up little signs going, it's early access, give it time. We've been here longer than you have. You stepped into early access and you're like, no, give it time. We've been here since long before then. And we want this game to succeed, but I don't know what else to say. Hopefully you guys get the gist of where I'm coming from, my passion, the whole 9 yards, and how I want this game to go through. And I want them to fix some of these things. But as it stands right now, I don't know if they're going to be able to fix these things, especially the server-side commands and things like that, unless they really get some buff-like servers to really carry these loads. That are loads, in my opinion, where you're communicating all of this, are more communications than most MMO games and things like that. At least in certain games, there are client-side things that run versus, you know, constantly going to the servers, and in this game, it's one of those. So yeah, that's how I feel. That's my honest opinion from my experience of this game and everything else. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, criticisms in the comment section below. Without further ado, I guess I will catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel and you just came here to see this review, hopefully you check out all the other content. I do a lot of fantastic voiceovers, fantastic gameplays, and I stream on Twitch. A little here and there for Mixer, but mainly Twitch right now. And we've got a laundry list of games coming up. Looking forward to a lot of the games, and a shout out to the developers who actually have delayed development in hopes of polishing games. Not doing this early release, we'll fix it as we go, let's make our money, you know, developers who are, you know, doing what they do and making the gaming community, the industry, better by doing it, and not this crap. So without further ado, thank you for watching, I love your beautiful faces, and I'll catch you all next time, peace.